Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to return to Am I an A-hole subreddit because I'm curious as to see what other things people have posted and asked advice on. So unlike the last video where I looked at the most recent posts, this time I will be looking at top posts and posts that have been heavily commented on and highly rated so that we can kind of see a bigger opinion from people. Yeah. Because these posts have been around a lot longer than the ones that we checked out in the last Am I an A-hole video. So actually I found 3 posts with titles that seemed really interesting, and all of them have already been labeled with a decision. They're all not the A-hole, but I figured we should check out the post for ourselves and decide if we agree or disagree with the consensus. Yeah. So let me turn on some chill music. Yeah. Okay, so the first one I found is from 2 years ago, and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? Now, just from the title alone, I find that really funny, and I have a feeling it's probably not going to be a bad thing, especially if the customer is giving the cashier a hard time, but we shall see. Okay, I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Okay, so James is a nice guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. Oh, only 2 people. Okay. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what. But it's a lot. Like, how sad. So you have to be a grown-ass man taking your anger out on a high schooler and a college kids. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was like, "OP, this is unacceptable. You are fired." I started acting real sad, like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." And he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. Oh wow, they're really upping the theatrics. The angry guy started to backtrack, like, "It's not that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it." And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting, and we've done it a couple of times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologize and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying, making people realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needs the job fired, or desperately needs the money fired. Am I the a-hole for this joke? Okay, right away, OP, you are not the a-hole. I agree with the consensus. First of all, it was harmless. As someone who works in customer service, I can see that you are... Well, I don't work in customer service, but I know a lot of people who have. And seeing how hard it is to work in that field, how stressful it is, especially during the pandemic, when customers can sometimes be rude and just not really sympathetic, empathetic to other people's situations. They really don't care. And I know there's the saying, the customer is always right, but you know, everyone should be nice to each other. There's no need to take out your anger on others. If you're having a bad day, that's not the barista's fault. That's not the salesperson's fault. That's something that unfortunately you would have to deal with on your own terms and not take it out on others. So I don't think OP is the a-hole. And especially because it's true that sometimes, even though in this instance it was a prank, it was a joke, there are times where the employer will not listen to both sides of the story and will automatically just place the blame on the customer service person and fire them, you know? So you have to really be careful about your interactions with others, and just really think and be more self-aware about what you can say and your actions can actually get someone else in big trouble and get them fired. Yeah. So, nope, not the a-hole. Let's check out what commenters have to say. Okay. Oh, is this how... Oh, this is the rating, by the way, for different posts. If you're the a-hole, it's YTA. If you're not the a-hole, it's NTA. If everyone sucks and everyone is wrong, it's ESH. No a-holes here is NAH, NAH. And not enough info is info. So that's interesting. There's a little rubric on how to grade these posts. But yeah, let's see. Not the a-hole. That's a perfect way of dealing with hostile customers. Agreed. And when the hostile customers try to backtrack when what they say, it makes it so worth it. OP's tactic hopefully teaches them to stop complaining to service workers about things out of their control. Yeah, especially, you can't really fault the customer service person when there's an issue that they have no control over, just like OP. He can't control how hot the drink is. That's the machine. That's up to how the machine was set. So, and then also there's also the other issue, right? Remember how there was a time where I think it was the McDonald's and the coffee was too hot? And so I think that's why they also make sure now that the water or the drinks aren't too hot, because they don't want a repeat spill and injury like that. So there are certain reasons why certain things are the way they are, and sometimes it's because of management. You know, it's not because of the workers on the ground floor. They don't really have a say in a lot of what they're told to do. Yeah, this is hilarious and hopefully teaches them a lesson. Yeah, and likely they'll never come back too. They won't have the face to come back. It'll be so awkward. I can just imagine some repeat a-hole customer who gets the same girl fired every week. This is your last chance, Danielle. I won't rehire you again. Oh my gosh, imagine that the customer comes back and it's like, wait, weren't you fired? And they're like, they're giving me another chance. Don't mess this up for me. This is so great. I've been threatened by customers saying I need to be fired for being so incompetent at my serving job. I wish I could do something like this. Yeah, and OP has a special case because they're pretty close with the management's son, as well as the other worker there, so they can orchestrate this prank. If you didn't have any connections, this wouldn't work out for you. It's like the hands down worst way to handle bad customers. They're the same people who sound off in online reviews. Oh, this person, okay, so this person is calling them an a-hole, I think, right? It's like the hands down worst way to handle bad customers. They're the same people who sound off in online reviews. Sounds funny, but from a PR point of view, imagine repeatedly explaining this as your online rating sinks to 1.5 in every platform because people feel socially obligated to cancel you? What? Wait, I don't understand. It says it was deleted, so are they, wait. Absolute effing power move, wait. I'm confused. Wait, it says it's the hands down worst way to handle bad customers? So are they saying that they disagree with the way they did it? Okay, I'll just keep going. Not the a-hole. I think it's hilarious, and maybe it'll teach some people a lesson about controlling their assholery. OP is a legend. Yes, people who blow up over stupid little things need this. Is this what you wanted, for someone to lose their job? No. Then keep some perspective. Yes, it's all about perspective. Okay, so the general consensus is that they are not an a-hole, and I agree with that. What do you guys think? Have any of you ever worked in the customer service industry? Have you experienced bad experience with customers who are unruly over things that you can't control? It's out of your control, but they blame it on you anyway. And, you know, the customers, you know, they may be having a bad day, but it's still not an excuse to harass people. Please be kind to everyone. Okay, next post is also from 2 years ago, And it's, am I the a-hole for jumping out of a bathroom window to avoid my mom's attempt at forcing a reunion between me and my ex-fiance? Ooh. So this is just like, this is like really comical, like slapstick comedy kind of, like going as far as to jump out of a bathroom window because you don't want to meet someone. I mean, we've all been there, right? When we really don't want to have to face someone and it's like, if you could exit the situation, you would. So let's see what OP does. Some backstory. I had been dating my ex-fiance, Sarah, for 4 years. We had been planning to get married in November 2020, but I found out at the start of this month that she cheated on me. Oh no. She begged me to give her another chance, but I broke it off. Good for you, OP. Good for you. The problem was that being cheated on is, in my mind, completely emasculating and humiliating. Well, it's not just that, but also it's a severe break in trust. And you really need a strong sense of communication and trust in a relationship for it to last. So if it were to happen, it's good that you found out about it before you got legally bound by the law that you got married. If you found out about it after, it would be really troublesome to you know, go and get a divorce. Getting a divorce, I don't think actually is that easy. It seems like a lot of work because you have to get lawyers involved and you have to figure out how to split assets and, you know, all that stuff. And then if you have kids, oh man, you have to figure out who's gonna get the kids and you have to fight for custody. It's just a mess. Wow. Okay, so at least they found out before they got into any commitment like marriage. But OP, the biggest problem for OP here is that it's emasculating and humiliating. So I never told anyone that was the reason we broke up. For obvious reasons, Sarah also didn't tell people we broke up because she cheated. So people have blamed me for the breakup, including my mom. They just see that I dumped her out of the blue. Okay, well, again, this is what happens when you don't have communication. Even though you might find it humiliating, you're not the only one who would be humiliated. Obviously, the cheater would feel really bad about it too. And in order to, you know, clear any rumors or miscommunications, especially since OP is the one being blamed for the breakup, you should really at least tell your close ones the reason behind the breakup, like your family, because I don't know if you would want them associating with her anymore. I can't imagine. I feel it's really awkward to still have a connection to someone if they've really betrayed you that way. And I don't think you would want your family to still be in contact with her, right? So I think you should tell at least your mom, right? I feel like that's something you could tell your mom. I think she would really understand. Because look, now OP is being blamed for the breakup. They probably think he may have cheated on her, which, you know, is not good for you either, your reputation. Okay, I've gone very strict no contact with Sarah after I discovered she was cheating on me. Sarah has been talking with my mom. No, that's a big no-no. And has convinced her that if we could talk one more time, we would be able to reconcile. No, see, she went to the mom. My mom has been applying hardcore pressure on me to talk with Sarah, but I've explained that there's no chance we will ever get back together. See, you could avoid having to jump out of a bathroom window if you just told your mom that she was cheating on you, and that would have been end of story. So tonight, I go over to my mom's place because she's hosting family for Christmas Eve. I'm there for a bit, talking with my aunts and uncles and cousins, when the doorbell rings and I can see it's Sarah. She's not family anymore. You broke up with her. Why has she been invited to Christmas dinner? No, this is a family-only occasion. I asked what the F and is going on, and my mom says she's invited Sarah so we can work this out in the spirit of the holidays. Mom, no. I'm pissed now because the only way to explain my side of the story is to tell everyone I was cheated on. Complete humiliation in front of my whole family. So, as my mom goes to the front door, I go into the bathroom. My mom starts knocking on the door, saying that I need to come out and talk to my ex like an adult. I say, F it, kick out the window screen and get in my car and go home. Oh, wow. Okay. My mom called a short while ago saying she's cutting ties with me over my behavior. She's really fixated on me jumping out of a window, and that Sarah will always be like a child to her. Look at this, OP. You should have said something. Now your own mom is disowning you. She said that Sarah will always be like a child to her. My sister called me after to ream me out for ruining Christmas. I broke down and told her that Sarah cheated on me, which is why I dumped her and didn't want to see her under any circumstances. She called me a big a-hole who was lying to cover for myself. Am I really in the wrong? Well, OP, if your girlfriend was the one that cheated on you, or if your fiance was the one that cheated on you, then you aren't in the wrong. But because you waited so long to tell anyone and you didn't like clear everything up at the beginning, everyone's gonna believe Sarah and no one's gonna take your side anymore. Even your mom is cutting ties with you now. Your sister thinks you're the a-hole and that you're maybe the one that cheated and you're just lying to cover up something like your own secret. Bruh. Communication. I don't think they're the a-hole for escaping the situation because they could not deal with it. But I feel like they could have done this in a more constructive way. Or they could have avoided this whole situation entirely if they had been honest and confided in someone, like their mom or their sister. Or if they don't feel comfortable telling their mom or sister, you know, a close friend or something like that. Someone that they could confide in and trust in. Because, you know, it's not... Being cheated on may feel humiliating, but at the end of the day, you did nothing wrong. The person who cheated on you is in the wrong. You're not the one that should feel guilty about anything. It's not your fault that someone else broke the trust that's between you. And so you should have nothing to hide, you know? Honestly, if you were to reveal it, you wouldn't be the one that would be embarrassed. It would be the person who cheated. And look, now the person who cheated has both your mom and your sister. And now you're like isolated from them. So... OP, I hope you get to resolve the situation and get to speak with your mom. And I hope you finally have the courage to tell them and really explain to them what happened. And, you know, explain to them that it was really, you know, embarrassing and you didn't know what to do, which is why you didn't tell them originally. But that you know that you did nothing wrong and therefore you should feel comfortable and safe telling them that happened. Yes. Because your mom really doesn't like the fact that you jumped out of her bathroom window. I don't know, did you break it? Yeah, but I feel like if she really found out the truth, I don't think she would fault you on that unless she really, really likes Sarah more than you. Then that would really suck, and that's a terrible... that would be a terrible mom if she chose your ex-fiance who cheated on you over her own son. So, good luck, OP. Let's see what people have to say. F that. Your mom, Sarah, and your sister are all a-holes. Yeah, you tell them. The nerve of her to show up at your mom's house. Isn't she embarrassed? I'm pissed off just reading this. Honestly, if I were Sarah, I would be so embarrassed. I would never want to have to contact his side of the family ever again because you never know when he's gonna reveal it, right? Why would you still want to keep in contact with his side of the family? I don't understand why your mother is so invested in Sarah. Why would you want to tell her Sarah cheated on you after how your sister reacted? What a effing mess. That's true though. If the sister reacted badly, we don't know how the mom will react. She might not believe you either, and then that would push you away farther, maybe? Not gonna lie, you kicking out of the screen and taking off through the window is straight savage. Reflexes up on legendary, not the a-hole. Yeah, I agree, not the a-hole. I gotta say though that OP honestly should have came clean at some point before it escalated to any of this. Yes, it shouldn't have been his family's business at all. And yes, she should have believed him when he said that he was cheated on. But come on, when you reach the point that you have to essentially break out of your mom's bathroom to get in your car and drive away to avoid telling someone what happened, you have to take a step back and see how that looks to people. Having said that, I think OP needs a long, hard break from just about everybody and needs time to himself. I can see this poster's point too. It was a little excessive. You're not the a-hole, but again, it was excessive to just ditch like that. You could have walked out through the front door, or you could have pulled your mom aside at the party and explained it to her. Then she would have felt embarrassed for inviting Sarah. Yeah, it looks like he lied because he hid the reason from the beginning. Ooh. Okay, let's read this comment. Also, he didn't want to say he got cheated on because it's emasculating. What does her character have to do with OP's masculinity? Unless masculinity is his ability to control her behavior. A plot twist. This is what people are talking about when they talk about toxic masculinity. So many problems with this thread. Most of them have been mentioned by other commenters, but that really jumped out at me. OP? I mean, I thought it was a bit weird when he said it was emasculating as well. Normally, a person who's cheated on would just feel humiliated and sad and hurt by betrayal. Emasculating is a weird way to put it. So I wonder, again, we don't really know much about Sarah and OP's relationship. Again, cheating is always a no-no. If you really don't want to be in a relationship anymore, you gotta just communicate and break it off cleanly. You shouldn't go and cheat. This relationship is not gonna work either way, but who knows how the actual relationship was, what their dynamics were. Is there some toxic masculinity involved? We don't know. Yo, your mom and sister can't really be mad at you, or even like 1% negatively about you. And if they do, get a new sister and mom, because F that noise. Screw your girl that cheated and move on to someone that is great. So people have mixed feelings. A lot of people agree, but there are also people that are wondering about some of the wording and his phrasing in this post. This woman I've known 2 years is like a daughter to me, so I'm not talking to the son I birthed and raised anymore. Your mom. Obviously not the a-hole. Tell me about it. I was actually irritated reading the post. I mean, he definitely framed himself as the a-hole to this family. To them, he broke up with his fiancée, who he's been dating for 4 years out of the blue with no reason given, and went full-on no contact. So of course they're gonna try to get them back together since they like Sarah and they don't want to see OP throw away a relationship that they think can be saved. So OP, instead of being honest about the reason for the breakup from the get-go, which most anyone would be sympathetic to, especially your mom, OP lied because he was embarrassed, thus culminating in him climbing out of a bathroom window just to get away from this girl. An absolutely embarrassing action that your mom had to deal with the fallout of explaining to aunts and uncles and cousins. Oh yeah, apparently OP jumped out the window to get away from this girl. I have no idea why he would do that. Of course OP's sister thinks he's full of shit. just to saying that to save face because OP never mentioned any of this previously. And they do have a point. OP never talked to Peep about it, so they think that he's just pulling it out of nowhere. Like, if OP never gave any inkling about it, then his family would never know about it. And I wonder his relationship and dynamic with his own family. Does he normally get along well with his mom and sister? Because if he doesn't get along with them anyway, then I could understand how they might not trust him. How are they supposed to be sympathetic when OP acted like a lunatic and jumped out a window instead of simply talking privately with his ex-fiancée, saying something like, "You know the reason this ended and cannot continue"? OP opened this can of worms on himself and made himself look like an a-hole in the process. I see. Interesting. So, yeah, I can see both sides. Again, I don't think OP is the a-hole, but he should have handled this a lot better. Okay, what do you guys think? Have you ever been in a situation like this? Not necessarily being cheated on, but maybe there's someone you don't want to meet and you feel, because maybe it's like a friend, like a best friend, or maybe even a relative who you had a really bad falling out with, and then your other family members are trying to get you guys to reconcile and you're like, no, it's not going to work, but you don't tell them the reason why, and then you end up making a fool of yourself, according to them, by trying to escape the situation instead of quote-unquote manning up. Because I'm wondering, since OP mentioned about being cheated on as being emasculating, then wouldn't it have been seen as like manning up if he had confronted her directly at the party instead of running away? Because wouldn't running away kind of be emasculating as well? I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, I have one more post, and this one is posted 2 years ago. Wow, these are all from 2 years ago. Okay. Am I the a-hole for being visibly shocked and dumbfounded that my girlfriend, 21 years old, American, could not point out Florida on a map? But Florida is literally at the tip. Like, it's literally right there. It sticks out from the rest of the country. I feel like even non-Americans can point out where Florida is. First of all, Florida is a really popular state for people to visit for vacation. That's where Disney World is. You know, Miami, Orlando. It's a really popular destination for travelers. And I feel like it really sticks out because of the shape of it. It juts out of the landmass. So I feel like it's kind of hard, especially if you're an American, to not know where Florida is or how it looks like. Okay, well, let's see what happened in the post. While sitting next to my girlfriend on a plane, I was bored as F and looking at the maps that are found in the back of the airline magazines. A conversation led to her revealing that she did not know where Florida was on the map. So the girlfriend offered up that information herself. Wait, who just admits that? Keep in mind, she had graduated a private high school and is currently going into her senior year of college. She's gone like oh wow, okay. Conversation progressed further into me finding out that she could not point out Australia either. Australia is its own country and continent. I was visibly astonished at this revelation and essentially said, "Are you kidding?" She immediately got defensive, calling me an a-hole for making her feel stupid. Bro, I mean, she pretty much set herself up. She told them she didn't know where it was. It's not like he asked her and she admitted it. She offered up that information. So she was pretty much shooting herself in the foot. I do feel bad for making her feel stupid, although I feel as if my reaction to her not being educated on such elementary shit was warranted and may even be a wake-up call for her to learn some basic geography. Am I the a-hole? Okay, that was really short, succinct, and easy to say you are not the a-hole. First of all, because you didn't pry that information out of her, you didn't force her or set her up to like trick her and humiliate her. She readily offered that information to you of her own free will. And then you just responded. Like, what did she expect? Of course you're gonna be like, are you joking? And he didn't necessarily mean it in a mean way. They could have just meant it like, oh, haha, you got me. You're kidding, right? And I mean, what do you guys think? I definitely think that the girlfriend overreacted. She knows she doesn't know where it is. So, like, it's not like he's lying or anything like that. Okay, let's see what commenters have to say. Nah, my husband did the same to me, so I realized how straight up dumb it was. I downloaded an app for kids to learn basic geography. Now I know where more countries are than he does. Learning and realizing the need to learn things is so important. Yeah, so even OP didn't know where certain states were or countries were. And so, you know, it's fine. Don't take it with a grain of salt. Don't be offended because, again, you didn't know it when it is taught in elementary school. So just look it up and then be like, oh, okay, that's where it is. I'll know for next time. It wasn't that big a deal. She made it into a big deal. Wow, very solid response. Good for you. Yeah, good for OP, who knows more countries and geography than her husband now. Okay. You should absolutely take those moments to try and learn something and learn it well. Nothing is worse than being embarrassed more than once for not knowing something relatively simple. True that, true that. Straight up learned that Egypt was in Africa when I was like 28 years old. Geography wasn't ever important to me growing up, and I never had reason to learn it as an adult until a fateful conversation with the wife, who mocked me relentlessly. Kinda stung, but for everything she knew that I didn't, there were things that I knew that she didn't. Yeah, so it's a balance, you know? I mean, hey, it's understandable. I'm not the best at geography either, but I feel like certain things, like, I feel like because it's such a common and well-known state, and it literally sticks out on the map, it should have been pretty easy to identify. She could have even just guessed where Florida was. And again, OP's girlfriend is an American who has gone to private school. She's like 21. I'm pretty sure she had to have seen it on a map once in her life before. Let's see. Oh, people are now in this thread just debating. Oh wait, Egypt is in Africa? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Anyone else have anything to say about this? They're just debating about the location of Egypt right now. Weirdly enough, I also learned this just last year at 28.0. Talking about Egypt also. I can't believe I'm even admitting this, but I'm just so happy to not be the only one. And at 28, edited to add, I'm talking about the location of Egypt, not Florida. Okay. Yeah, so... See, this is the kind of response that more people need to have when confronted with these situations. This is equal parts humility, resolve, lack of defensiveness, growth, and now bragging rights. Kudos to you. I don't even think they're referring to OP anymore. I think they're just talking to each other. Okay, well, overall, I just gotta say that OP is not an a-hole. It's not necessarily... I don't think he really made fun of her for not knowing where it was. He was just literally asking, like, are you kidding? Are you pulling my leg here? And, you know, if she knew it was embarrassing and she knew she was going to be embarrassed by it, she shouldn't have offered that information to him. So, yeah, OP's not an a-hole. So, in all 3 posts... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, let me ask you guys as well. Have you ever been in this situation? Where, let's say, you don't really know something that might be considered a common fact, and then someone, I don't know, asks you, are you kidding? Or are you serious? Did they make fun of you? Have you been humiliated like this? I mean, there are certain things that I don't know either, but I feel like there are certain common sense things that if you know that people would expect you to know it, and that you would be embarrassed by them asking if they're kidding. You know what I mean? Like, if you know that you would be embarrassed because you don't know it, then don't tell people you don't know it. Or if you are going to tell people, then don't get super defensive over not knowing it, since you know you don't know it. Yeah. That's how it is. Okay, so, what are your guys' opinions on these Reddit posts? Again, I agree that none of the people that posted were a-holes, although some of them could have handled the situation better than they did. But these were interesting. These were kind of fun because you see this a lot. These are common circumstances. You know, dealing with customers and then wanting to get some payback and let them get a taste of their own medicine, or getting cheated on, or having a relationship be destroyed and then people not knowing, and then they're trying to like get you guys back together and reconcile, or even like not knowing certain common things and then feeling embarrassed because you don't know them. These are common circumstances that a lot of people experience. It's just whether or not they handle their responses, handle and curate their responses in a positive, constructive way, or in a negative, destructive way. Yeah. So I enjoyed looking at these. I hope to look at some more in the future. These were all no a-holes, so maybe next time we'll check out some more controversial ones that will have some a-hole consensus. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!